The Constitution of Romania was adopted on the 21st of November 1991. It was approved that same year in a national referendum on the 8th of December and introduced on the same day. It remains the current fundamental law that establishes the structure of the government of Romania, the rights and obligations of the country's citizens, and its mode of passing laws. It stands as the basis of the legitimacy of the Romanian government. The constitution was amended once by a referendum on the 18th of October 2003. The new text took effect on the 29th of October 2003. Structure. The Constitution of 1991, as revised in 2003, contains 156 articles, divided into 8 titles. Title I, General Principles. Title II, Fundamental Rights, Liberties, and Duties. Title III, Public Authorities. Title IV, The Economy and Public Finance. Title V, Constitutional Court. Title V, Euro-Atlantic Integration. Title VII, Revising the Constitution. Title VIII, Final and Transitional Provisions. Background. Regulamental organic, voted by the respective assemblies of Moldavia and Wallachia under Imperial Russian occupation in 1831 to 1832, was the first organic law resembling a constitution ever awarded to the Danubian principalities. It remained in place until 1858, when the Crimean War removed the two countries from Russian influence and confirmed the rule by several European powers first established by the Treaty of Paris. The Paris Convention of 1858 remained the governing document following the election of Alexandru Ioan Cuza as Domnitor over the United Countries, but was replaced by Cuza's own organic law, entitled Statutul de Voltator al Convenție de la Paris, in 1864. The first constitution of the United Principality of Romania was adopted 1 July 1866. After the extension of national territory in 1918, a new constitution was approved 29 March 1923. It was repealed by King Carol II in 1938, when an authoritarian regime formed around the National Renaissance Front adopted a new, corporatist constitution on 27 February. This document was, in turn, cancelled in 1940 by the Iron Guards National Legionary state government. The 1923 constitution was reinstated after the fall of the Ion Antonescu dictatorship in 1944. The new Constitution of Communist Romania was adopted in 1948 following the Soviet model, with subsequent variants appearing in 1952 and 1965. The communist regime fell in 1989, after which large portions of the 1965 document were suspended, and the present document was adopted in 1991. Initial version. The 1991 Constitution enshrined the return to democracy after the fall of the communist regime. The draft was composed by a committee of parliamentarians and constitutional law specialists, was approved by Parliament, meeting as a constituent assembly, by a vote of 414 to 95 on 21 November 1991, being published in Monitorul Official the same day, and was approved by referendum on 8 December 1991, with 77.3% voting in favor. The 1991 Constitution contains 7 titles and 152 articles. Romania is defined as a national, sovereign, independent, unitary and indivisible state. The form of government is the republic, the president having up to 2 4-year terms. He represents the Romanian state in domestic and foreign relations, ensures obedience to the constitution and the proper functioning of state institutions, and is the guarantor of the state's independence. unity and integrity. Parliament is the supreme representative organ of the Romanian people and the sole lawmaking authority. It is bicameral and elected for 4 years. After the Prime Minister is named by the President, Parliament validates the composition and program of the government and can dismiss it following a motion of censure. The Constitution provides for fundamental civic rights and freedoms, and creates the office of Romanian Ombudsman to ensure these are respected. First revision. The 1991 Constitution has been amended one time, in 2003. Articles were introduced on integration into the European Union and NATO accession, bringing the total to 156 in 8 titles. These specified that both could take place by parliamentary vote alone, and that EU citizens living in Romania can vote and run in local elections. The new document grants minorities the right to use the native language when dealing with local administration and the courts, improved the functioning of the legislative chambers and restricts the privilege of parliamentary immunity to political declarations, extends the president's term to 5 years, explicitly guarantees rather than protects the right to private property, and removes the constitutional obligation for conscription. The revised document was adopted by referendum on 18-19 October 2003. Turnout was slightly above the 50% +1 threshold needed for it to be valid, with 55.7% of 17,842,103 eligible voters showing up. The opposition and NGOs alleged serious irregularities. 89.70% voted yes and 8.81% no. It came into force 10 days later. Proposed second revision. The issue of constitutional reform was raised repeatedly in the early 2010s, especially after a major political crisis in the second half of 2012. The ruling coalition at the time, the Social Liberal Union, claimed that insufficient constitutional constraints led then-incumbent President Traian Băsescu to abuse his presidential powers, thus justifying new amendments. A public debate began in 2013 and a parliamentary commission for the revision of the constitution was established. However, the reform project stalled as the Social Liberal Union dissolved in early 2014 and Băsescu ended his term later that year. Băsescu's successor, Klaus Iohannis, expressed support for a second revision of the constitution, as did Prime Minister Victor Ponta, who stated that such a revision should be a political priority in 2015, as there are no elections scheduled in Romania that year. On the 18th of January 2015, the Vice President of the Parliamentary Commission, Valeria Shelian, requested the immediate convocation of the Commission to begin working on amendments.